When you think of mansions, you probably think of extravagance, luxury, and wealth. Spookiness is probably the last thing on your mind, but for this video, we'll be giving you a tour of famous mansions that are also supposedly haunted. Let's start off with the Hotel Chelsea in New York. A super old place with a red brick building having famous people like Mark Twain and Andy Warhol as their guest. But no, that's not the ghostly part. Here's what thrilled us. There's a ghost named Mary who survived the Titanic but lost her husband. She's still hanging out at the Chelsea, especially on the 5th floor, where she stares at herself in a mirror all the time. And no, Mary isn't the only one. There's another ghost, Nadia, who took her own life, and people say that she's still wandering the hotel's halls. OMG! This mind-boggling building was bought by Drew Keir, an owner of BD Hotels, in 2016 for a whopping $250 million. Next up, the Winchester Mystery House in San Jose, California has quite the shush story. It's all about Sarah Winchester, the heiress to the Winchester rifle's fortune. After her husband and child passed away, she believed angry spirits who were victims of Winchester rifles were seeking revenge. So, to calm these restless ghosts, she built a huge house with 160 rooms, 2,000 doors, 10,000 windows, secret passages, and staircases that lead to nowhere. It's owned by Winchester Mystery House LLC, a private organization. Next up, we have the Amityville House in New York. In 1974, 6 members of the DeFeo family were found dead, sadly. The eldest son was convicted of the murder of the parents and siblings. A year later, a new family moved in, but reported running away because of strange odors, cold drafts, and a pig-like creature. The house recently sold for $1.5 million. Hats off to the one who bought it, really. You are not ready for this. Trust us, even we aren't. We're talking about the White House, Washington, D.C. Yes, the most famous house on the planet has its own ghost stories to tell. Prime Minister Winston Churchill and Queen Wilhelmina claim to have spotted the ghost of Abraham Lincoln. They say he appears in rooms like the Lincoln bedroom and Yellow Oval Room. But wait, the ghostly stories don't end there. Willie Lincoln, Andrew Jackson, Thomas Jefferson, and many others are believed to have shown their own ghostly tantrums and paranormal activities in the house. Touted as one of the most haunted houses in America, the Myrtles Plantation in St. Francisville is one of the creepiest places. Since the house was built, dozens of deaths have occurred from illness, poisoning, and murder. Visitors have also claimed to have witnessed strange activities like furniture moving on its own, a grand piano that plays by itself, and other mysterious handprints. Now let's step into the chilling history of the Joshua Ward House, a place where loyalty to its owner seems to last beyond the grave. This house, crafted back in 1784 by George Corwin, the High Sheriff, still has a hold of his spirit. For centuries, his ghostly presence has refused to depart, casting an eerie shadow over this historic dwelling. The LaLaurie Mansion is known for its spooky history in the French Quarter. Delphine LaLaurie, who lived there in the 1830s, is reported to have misbehaved with her workers. And when we say misbehave, we mean misbehave. There's a scary attic room where they suffered, and their ghost seemed to still cry out in pain. Even actor Nicolas Cage, who owned the house for a bit, couldn't escape the creepy vibes. On June 12, 1912, a horrifying and unsolved crime unfolded in Villisca, aka Villisca Ax Murder House. An entire family and 2 young visitors were brutally murdered with an axe. The sad part is that the was never identified. Today, this house is still filled with restless spirits, cries of children, and doors that mysteriously open and shut. Last but not least, we have the House of located in New York. In New York's Greenwich Village, there's a super spooky house on West 10th Street. They call it the House of Death. They say it's haunted by 22 ghosts, even a sad 6-year-old girl who met a tragic end at the hands of her adoptive father. Now that's some messed up stuff. The famous writer Mark Twain once lived there, and some folks say his friendly ghost comes back. You can't go inside, but people on ghost tours talk about it. That's it for today. We hope you didn't bat your eye much.